Right, this is Unit 3, the periodic table review video. So first thing is I can differentiate between the properties of metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. So if we look back on a periodic table very quickly, remember we have the staircase that starts next to boron and works all the way down. Okay. And your staircase is what separates your metals from the nonmetals. Okay. If you're on the left of the staircase, you have the metals. If you're to the right of the staircase, you have the nonmetals. And if you're touching the staircase, you are the metalloids. Okay? So touching either side of the staircase are the metalloids, all the way down. So what are some properties of our metals? So some properties of metals is, first off, they are ductile. Whoops, let's change pens here. They are ductile, meaning we can make into a wire. It says wire. They're shiny. Okay, think about a copper penny, how shiny a copper penny is. It's malleable, meaning we can shape it. We can bend it and we can change its shape. Okay, we have copper pennies, we have rings, we have copper pipes, so we can change its shape. And then they conduct electricity. We use copper wire to help conduct electricity. And lastly, they are solids. There's one exception to that rule. Okay, is mercury is a liquid, but the rest of them are solids. Our nonmetals are the opposites. Okay, so if a metal is ductile, a nonmetal is not ductile. We can't make it into a wire. They're not shiny, instead they're dull. They're not malleable. Okay? They are brittle. If you try to bend it, it will break. Okay, they do not conduct electricity, which means they're insulators. And they can be solid, liquids, and gases. You have your noble gases, and then carbon is a solid, so it can be a bunch of things. The only liquid is Br. So mercury and bromine are the only two liquids on the periodic table. For our characteristics of our metalloids, they are what we call semiconductors, meaning they conduct electricity some of the time, and they share properties of both categories, metals and nonmetals. So next, I can predict and explain the chemical properties based on the periodic family. So let's looking back at our periodic table right here really quick. Okay, just go over a few things again. Erase some of this here. Okay. All right, so our periods go this way, or horizontal. There are 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 4. 5, 6, 7. And remember, these insert right here. So this is 6 and 7. Our groups count across 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 18. 9, 12, 13, 15, 16. I miscounted. Whoops, I left out 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so that's just a few pieces of information to review. Okay, so the way you do these is you have to find all the elements and compare what we're looking at. So first off, it says elements are in the same period. So we're looking for elements that are in the same row. So first we have N and K, Na and K. Here's Na and here's K. They're in the same column, but they're not in the same period. So it can't be that one. Cross that one out. Li and H. Okay. Here's Li and here's H. Again, they're in the same column, but not the same horizontal row. So that can't be right. Which leaves Li and B has to be right, but let's check. So there's Li and B is right here. So they are in the same row. So they are okay in the same period. Elements that are metalloids. So here we're talking about metalloids. We're looking for ones that touch the staircase. So let's see what our choices are. We have P and Al, so if either one of those don't touch the staircase, it can't be right. So phosphorus P is right here. It's not touching the staircase, so that can't be the right answer. Al and As. Al is touching the staircase. As is touching the staircase, so those both are metalloids. Elements that are brittle. So you need to remember that nonmetals are brittle. And so to be so it's got to be a nonmetal. And nonmetals are on the right side of my periodic table. So if we go through, we have C and Cu. Okay, there's carbon, that's a nonmetal. But Cu is over on this side. It's a metal, so that one's not the right answer. We have C and S. So again, carbon is a metal. Sorry, a nonmetal. And then there's sulfur, which is a nonmetal. So that is our correct answer. All right, elements that are in the same family. So remember, our families go up and down. So we're looking for things that are in the same column. We have Al and Na. All right, there's Al and Na. So they're in the same row, but they're not in the same column. So they're not in the same family. Na and Li, whoops, let's check. Na and Li, yes, they are in the same column. So they are, Na and Li are in the same family. All right, so here you need to look at the following properties and decide which is the best element for that choice. Okay. So first off, we have something that is dull, solid, brittle, and a poor conductor of electricity. All of these are properties of nonmetals. So we need one of these is going to be a nonmetal. So we have to look through what we've got. Our first choice, we have sulfur, boron, magnesium, and argon. All right, so first one we have this sulfur. Sulfur is right here, so sulfur is a nonmetal. Okay, whoops. So that could be a choice, but let's check the rest because it wants what is the best option. So we also have boron. Boron's right here. He's a metalloid, so that can't be it. Magnesium is over here. Can't be magnesium. Uh-oh. Argon is also a nonmetal. So we have two choices. Which one is the right one? Well, you should remember that argon is in the noble gas family. If he's in the noble gases, he cannot be a solid. So sulfur is our best choice as that correct answer. Okay. Next we have something that's a gas. It needs 1 valence electrons for Fluorite. It's green and highly reactive. It's toxic. So we know it's a gas, so it has to be a non-metal. And 1 valence electron, things with 1 valence electron, okay, live in my halogen family right here. So I got to pick one of those. So we have oxygen. That's not a halogen. There's no oxygen in this column. So we can cross out oxygen. Can't be sodium. Sodium is way over there in the alkali metal family. Bromine. There's bromine. He's in the halogens. Let's go through all of them. And then chlorine. Chlorine's also in the halogens. Uh-oh, again, which one is the right one? Well, we wrote down up here, bromine is a liquid. Okay, and ours has to be a gas. So it can't be bromine. It has to be chlorine as your only possible correct answer there. Okay. All right, and then we have things that are malleable. They're solid. They're used in electrical wires, and they conduct electricity. All of these are properties of metals that we wrote down up above. So let's go through and find the best one that we have to check all of them because there's some that might be multiple choices. Okay. First off, so we're looking for something on the left side of our periodic table. We've got sodium. That might be a possible answer. There's copper. Let's find everyone first. Copper. And then silicon and nitrogen. Silicon's right there, and then there's nitrogen. So we know it has to be a metal, so we can count out silicon and nitrogen. Okay. And so now we need to think which one of these, sodium or copper, is used in making electrical wires. And the best choice of that is copper. Now on your exam, you won't have any where you really have to, that are trick questions. Okay, they will be more obvious as to which ones are the correct answers. All right, let's look at the last one. Okay, conductor of electricity, but it's brittle, it's a solid, and it's shiny. So this is a mixture. Okay. It's got properties of both, so it's a metalloid. It has to be touching the staircase. Okay, let's go look. Iodine, zinc, germanium, and potassium. Iodine, zinc, germanium, and potassium. Germanium is the only one touching your periodic table, your staircase. All right, let's list our families here. So your first family is your alkali metals. I'm just going to write the letters. And then we have alkaline earth metals. This whole middle section is the transition metals. And then we have I gotta make sure I give them the right order, the boron family. Where's boron? Boron family. And then the nitrogen family. Boron, nitrogen. Carbon comes next. I think I've got the whoops, I miswrote those. Carbon, and then nitrogen, and then oxygen family, and then halogens and noble gases. And then lastly, we have actinides and lanthanides, and that concludes your Unit 2.